trying to say words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the continuation and conclusion of the Season 6 Duracell Cup Series All-Star Race Weekend. Earlier on tonight, you saw the All-Star Open. 5 drivers qualified their way into the final slots for this All-Star Race mid-season event. And we now have compiled 22 drivers that will duke it out here tonight for the checkered flag. They'll look to get that cool $1 million. They'll look to carry some good momentum into the second half of the regular season, and maybe even more importantly, already lock themselves into next year's All-Star race. Only 2 former All-Star race winners are in the field here tonight. They would be Cole Deaver and Jose Mills. The other 3 are not in the field here tonight. Those drivers would have included Jordan Lopez, Trey Wright, and Carter Friesen. But we've got another 20 drivers that have never taken a checkered flag here in the All-Star race, and for several drivers, they're in the All-Star race for the very first time. It's going to be 60 laps of racing here tonight. No stages, just straight up 60 laps, which is going to be very interesting in the fact that that is halfway in what next week's Coke 600 will be. It'll be 120 laps in that one, the longest race of the season. So some well-needed data maybe picked up here by these 22 drivers might give them a little bit of an edge over the other 20 drivers that did not qualify into the All-Star race event. Now, the way that you qualified into the All-Star race, there were a couple of criterias. The first one we've already talked about. You needed to be a former All-Star race winner. Secondly, you needed to have won a race either between last year's All-Star race or this All-Star race. Thirdly, you ran your way in via one of the 4 stages in the All-Star Open earlier on tonight. And then finally, of course, the Lightning Challenge, get the fastest lap during the All-Star Open, and that was co-defending champion Caleb Fogler, who was able to do that. So actually, both of the co-defending champions that are full-time in the series are actually in the All-Star race here tonight. It'll be Daniel Voiles, though, who's going to line up on the pole position. Voiles, of course, locking himself into the All-Star race with his win earlier on this season at North Wilkesboro, rather. And he'll be alongside of Cole Deaver, who hasn't picked up a checkered flag since last year's All-Star race. Row 2 is where you find there's the Indianapolis race winner from this season, Zachary Fitzwater, and he's alongside of a driver that comes into this All-Star race break maybe with the most momentum. He is the first multi-time winner on the season, the rookie out of Young Motorsports, Destin Bolin. So keep an eye on him here tonight as he'll look to pick up what would be, if I recall correctly, his 3rd checkered flag in the last 4 weeks. Would he be able to do that? We'll wait and see. And then Kyle Matthews, one half of the defending champions of the series, coming into Season 6, he's going to complete the top 5. Kyle, of course, last year ended up having a victory at Martinsville. That was the first step in getting the 0-9 into the playoffs, and then he followed it up this year, also locking himself in with a win in Season 6, and that was at Coke Zero Super Speedway. But we're going to be showing you all the 22 drivers that are in the field here tonight in just a moment. It's time to go down trackside and stop my rambling, because it's time to go All-Star Racing at Charlotte.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field will roll off behind the Toyota TRD pace car. You see on the right side of your screen the 22 drivers that'll make up the field. You've got veterans, you've got rookies, you've got debuting drivers, you've got champions. You've got a plethora of drivers in this one. And one has to wonder about the drivers you see there down towards the bottom. Charles Sanford, Laura Chung, RJ Bishop. Are those drivers all going to have a little bit of extra experience here, having run the All-Star Open? Matt Haas and Caleb Vogler as well. They would have had 40 extra laps of knowing what these cars do than the other drivers up ahead of them. So we'll see how that plays out. We also kind of indicated in the All-Star Open that starting track position isn't absolutely key. It helps, but it's not absolutely key. A couple of drivers able to work their way from the back up to the front in that 40-lap event. And with it being 60 laps and we know a guaranteed pit stop somewhere along the line, since they couldn't make it the full 40-lap distance in the All-Star Open, that could certainly split the field up as well. Pace cars will make a left-hand turn to pit road. Daniel Voiles out of World NOS Racing and Cole Deaver out of S3 Motorsports going to bring us down as the Season 6 NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series All-Star Race is green from Charlotte. Track conditions pretty much the same as they were 2 hours ago when the green flag flew for the All-Star Open. So shouldn't be too many surprises for these drivers based off of those drivers that already took part earlier on tonight and drivers that would have had teammates they could have bounced information off of as they had a car up in the wall there. It was Voiles in second place. And Kyle Matthews got really loose there off of turn 4 and opened up the door for Jose Mills to jump to the inside. Mentioned about the fact Jose Mills, Cole Deaver, the only two drivers in the field that have formally won here in the All-Star race in 3 of the 5 All-Star race events. It's been a driver out of Blue Oval Automotive that's gone to victory lane. Jordan Lopez won the inaugural race back in Season 1. Jose Mills won it in Season 2. And then Trey Wright went to victory lane in Season 4. Carter Friesen and Cole Deaver's Chevrolets ended up breaking that up. Season 3 for Friesen and last year for Cole Deaver. Jack Dunnard moving into second, so the rookie stripes 1, 2, and possibly 3 as Rick Johnson looks to get around Jose Mills and will get the spot. Nick Gunther right behind him in the 55. Nick Gunther, 2 victories got him into this All-Star race. One last year at Bristol Dirt near the end of the regular season, and then of course this year at the road course in Napa Valley at Sonoma. Rick Johnson looking to the inside of Dunnard, showed the nose, had to check up there though. Going into 3, very shallow entry. Dunnard got a nice run through the center of 3 and 4, and he's all over the back bumper of Zachary Fitzwater. So Evan Gardner Motorsports and Northeast Motorsports Chevrolet rookies duking it out for the top spot here. Batson got kicked up to the high side there in the 39. Keith Batson, winner from a couple of weeks ago. Locking himself into the All-Star race. That was Ryan Butcher that made the pass on him. Ryan in via a victory from last year. I'm trying to recall where that was. New Hampshire was where it was. And right behind him, the 24 of Reggie Fogelman, who, remember, last year ended up picking up a victory in a Dodge at Pocono. In what was it his 3rd or 4th start? It wasn't very many starts he had made, as we've had in exchange for the lead. Jack Dunnard has now forged out ahead into that clean air, but Rick Johnson followed right with him. Mentioned about how it doesn't take that very long for drivers towards the back to work their way to the front. Last time they crossed the start-finish line, Matt Haas, Laura Chung, Caleb Vogler, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And they started back in 20th, 21st, and 22nd, so they've worked their way halfway through the field already within 8 laps. Charles Sanford and RJ Bishop are back right behind them as well in 11th or in 12th and 13th. So there's all of your transferees from the All-Star Open now knocking on the door of the top 10. Rick Johnson going to go to the race lead here with help from Reggie Fogelman. Look at the rookies up here. Fitzwater fading from view, but now add in the 83 of William Hoer, our winner from Manassas earlier on this year. Another of the Blue Oval Automotive cars. As a matter of fact, all three of the Blue Oval Automotive Fords are in this All-Star race. Hoer and Mills were already locked in, and then Fogler got in via the Lightning Challenge lap from the All-Star Open. And now Hoer's going to look to the inside of Fogelman for second. Rick Johnson, let's not forget his victory this season, locked him into the All-Star race, was at the Texas Motor Speedway, a D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack, so no surprise that he's doing pretty well here at Charlotte, as pretty sure Laura Chung in that purple Yahoo Toyota Camry got the wall there off of turn 4, and you can visibly see there is some damage. She got it pretty good. You can either brush the wall or you can slam the wall, and I think she slammed the wall. We'll have to see how that damage affects her for the remainder of this run. More importantly, if they're going to worry about trying to fix the damage on that car, when and if these drivers make green flag pit stops, as we look at Charles Sanford in the 03. He was the first driver in the All-Star Open earlier on tonight to lock himself into the All-Star race, winning stage 1. Matt Haas just ahead of him, waited until the last minute in stage 4 to lock himself into the All-Star race. Matt Haas, the points leader coming into this event this weekend and heading into the second half of the regular season, but still trying to find victory lane, is the former Daytona 500 winner. But Rick Johnson bailed out of the throttle there, off of 4, I think, to avoid hitting the wall. That checked up Caleb Fogler, and now William Hoer, after leading his second lap, is going to give way to the 39 of Keith Batson. Keith Batson picking up that big win at the Darlington Raceway. One of those crown jewel races. Is Sanford, what happened there? I was going to say, it's too soon to come to pit road. I think he just got loose there, or maybe got tight through the center of the corner. Something happened, and he bailed out of the throttle. He lost touch with the top 2 and slipped back into the clutches of Jack Dunnard and Laura Chung, who apparently that right side damage is not affecting Laura Chung at all, because she's still up here inside of the top 5. Matt Haas now out in front. Toyota looking for their first win in the All-Star race. Chevrolet with 2, Ford with 3. We have no Dodge in the field, so Toyota and Mazda are the 2 manufacturers right now that could get their first wins in All-Star race competition here in the Duracell Cup Series. Mitchell Collins now up to the 7th position. Joshua Osborne right behind. Mitchell Collins with a win earlier on this year at... Or actually, let me correct something. I think I ended up saying that William Hoer earlier was the winner at Manassas. He was the winner at Las Vegas. Mitchell Collins was the winner at Manassas. Making it 1-2 for the Michael Norman Motorsports Fords to start out the season, following up Chris Dollerton's win in the 500. Joshua Osborne got his first career win this year at the Tricky Triangle of Pocono. And not too far behind them, you got the single car entry, Llama Racing's Cody Lamas, Florida Panther Chevrolet Camaro. It's really been a tough year for him. It's the growing pains of a single car operation. Cody had a victory last year. That was at Road America, which that season he drove the number 1 for Michael Norman Motorsports along with Michael Norman and Trent Dunham, and Trent Dunham would go on the following week to put the 1 car in victory lane again at Indianapolis. Let's check back up at the front. Matt Haas continues to keep them stacked up double wide behind him. Jack Dunnard now to the inside of Laura Chung. A couple of drivers towards the back that we haven't talked about yet might be riding, but Daytona 500 winner Chris Dollerton, he's not up here yet. Riding back in the 20th position, Destin Bolin, we saw start up towards the front in 4th, but he's faded to the back, has not worked his way back up. Last time by, he was scored in, looks like 17th. So we got a few drivers that really have not made their way up here towards the front of the field. Jose Mills was up here in the beginning stages of the race, but that last time by, he crossed the line in 22nd, dead last. Now, the fuel window, if I recall correctly, for these drivers is somewhere in the 32 to 34 laps range. We ended up seeing pit stops in between stages 3 and 4 in the All-Star Open, and, well, looks like we're going to have an early pitter here. That was Laura Chung. And is this because of the damage she got earlier on the right side? Seems a little too early to be coming to pit lane. Remember, we didn't have any cautions in the All-Star Open, so they should still run around the same fuel numbers here in the All-Star race as they did earlier on tonight. And that is much too soon based off the numbers we were given for the 77 to be on pit lane, so I would have to assume it's got to be something to do with that damage. And that really checked up the field. You got the top 4 that have pulled away. Charles Sanford trying to reel them in there in that 5th position. Cody Lamas and Rick Johnson trying to make it a second 7-car train. And then you've got this group back here with RJ Bishop and company. I don't know if they can, as a group, if they can reel in the pack up at the front or not. We'll check about lap times and see. Ideally, they'd want to catch back up before the pit stops begin, because once the pit stops actually do begin, they would more than likely split the field up once more. That last time by, 31.331 for the race leader, 31.090 for Caleb Fogler, the leader of the second pack. So they are running faster lap times. I think they're going to catch them. I think they're going to reel this group back in, which is complete opposite of what we're used to seeing at a super speedway. Things get spread out. More than likely, pack number 2 doesn't catch pack number 1. But here, at Charlotte, the bigger pack is going to reel in the smaller pack, and we've got a caution. Yellow flag is out for the first time here tonight, and that changes up a lot in terms of fuel strategy, because if they come to pit road now here under this caution period, it may be borderline on whether they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. They're racing it back here to the yellow. They had not received the caution yet. It looks like we had a spin on the front stretch. Skid marks up towards the start-finish lines outside safer barrier. Not certain who it was. Try and follow up on that in a minute here, as the field will wait for the pace car. We got a couple of drivers that were kind of late crossing the start-finish line in the telemetry. Mitchell Collins and Keith Batson. I think it might have been the 39. There's Batson. Yeah, he's got some right side damage. Laura Chung, that caution did not help her, because now she's trapped a lap down. She might be able to stay out when everybody else pits, but I don't know if she'd be able to be on the tail end of the lead lap or not. There was the other car in question, the 33 of Mitchell Collins. We'll look back and see what happened off of 4 in just a minute. We'll follow the pit stops here under this, our first yellow flag of the day, first yellow flag of the weekend. As I come to pit road, little interesting note here. Almost 25 laps in. Remember, Caleb Fogler locked himself into this All-Star race with the Lightning Challenge, fastest lap in the Open. He holds the fastest lap in the All-Star race right now as well at a 30.452. That's over 177 miles per hour. Matt Haas down and away. See if Jack Dunnard's going to if his team will get him out there ahead. Ooh, it was close, but they are going to do so. It's like it's going to be Dunnard, Matt Haas. Ooh, Joshua Osborne, Daniel Willis, and I think Charles Sanford just got Cody Lamas for the 5th position. Caution out for the first time here tonight in the All-Star race. Let's take a look at what happened to the 39 of Keith Batson, as looks like he is returning to the racetrack. They did a little extra work on the right side of his machine, the safety clean forward, and sent him on his way. And the 2 cars that I wondered about were indeed the 2 cars that caused this yellow flag. Oh, Batson just got the wall pretty good there. scrubbed off speed. Mitchell Collins, no time to be able to react, gets him in the left rear quarter panel, and Batson got damage on both the left and right side. The right side after getting the wall, the left side after getting spun around. Could have been a lot worse. It was towards the rear of the field, so no oncoming traffic getting more damage. Let's ride on board with the 39 car. Yeah, a little kiss there with the left front. Mitchell Collins did a nice job of keeping off of him as well. Could have been a lot heavier of an impact into that outside wall for Keith Batson. I think Keith might be all right. I don't think there would have been any damage to the engine or anything like that. If anything, he would have had aero damage should he not have been spun out and a caution flown. I think that caution really saved him. They were able to spend a little extra time repairing that race car, buffing out the right side. Car looks pretty good as it left pit road. He should, I think, still be up to speed and still have a shot at this thing. As we near halfway in the All-Star race, you see the 77 of Laura Chung did not come to pit lane, didn't need to. She was on pit road about 3 laps earlier. So it looks like she will restart on the tail end of the lead lap, ahead of race leader Jack Dunnard. So she will be hoping that a quick yellow comes out and she can stay ahead of the leaders, get back to the tail end of the longest line. Is worth noting, when she came to pit road, they did not repair that right side damage. You can visibly still see it there when she was coming out of turn number 4. So, wondering if maybe there was a flat tire or something that they had to change after she got into the wall in the early going. Lights out, top pace car. So we get ready to go back green with what will be a total of 33 laps left to go. Actually, correction, 34 laps left to go here in the All-Star race. Jack Dunnard, the race leader. Matt Haas will line up in 2nd. Joshua Osborne 3rd. Daniel Voiles 4th. Cody Lamas in 5th. Charles Sanford is 6th. Cole Deaver 7th. Caleb Fogler 8th. 9th, Nick Gunther. And 10th will be Zachary Fitzwater. Let's take you all the way through the field. It's not a big field here for this All-Star race. Rick Johnson's 11th. Will Hoer in 12th. Ryan Butcher in 13th, 14th place Reggie Fogelman, RJ Bishop 15th, Jose Mills is 16th, 17th Chris Dollerton, Mitchell Collins 18th, 19th Destin Bolin, Kyle Matthews in 19th, make that rather 20th, Keith Batson 21st, and then Laura Chung right now scored on the lead lap in the 22nd position. All 22 drivers running, and at this point in time scored on the lead lap. Jack Dunnard has led 8 laps so far here tonight in this All-Star race. 6 for Matt Haas. 5 laps led for Zachary Fitzwater. 2 apiece for Rick Johnson and Will Hoer. And then 1 lap led each for Daniel Voiles and Keith Batson. Green flag set to fly once again. These drivers, based off of our calculations, they may not be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. We may have another pit stop in the future here. Question is, will it be under green or under caution conditions? As Laura Chung got a great jump. Caleb Fogler back there got a great jump too. Tried to jump to the outside of Cole Deaver, but has to take the longer way around the racetrack there through 1 and 2. Daniel Voiles also got kicked up there from Cody Lamas, so he's going to drop outside of the top 5 as 88. Big run, big push here down the back straightaway. Wants to put that 77 back a lap down, but Laura Chung, she's going to fight hard. And this might stack them up here. Matt Haas might be able to take advantage. Shows the nose to the inside of Jack Dunnard. And now Dunnard's going to get freight trained going into turn 1. Dunnard trying to hang on to 3rd. Got a nice draft there on the top from Charles Sanford. Trying to hold off Cody Lamas. Matt Haas showed the nose on Laura Chung, trying to put her a lap down. Chung is not going to go down without a fight. And that's going to help Joshua Osborne. So right now, Laura Chung being a bit of a thorn in the side of whoever's out in front. And Osborne, let's see what he can do with the 77. Big push from Jack Dunnard down the back straightaway, but not enough momentum to get to the inside of the 77, go into the corner. Wow, big checkup right there for Osborne as they were looking 3 wide further back. Cole Deaver, Cody Lamas, and I believe that was Ryan Butcher. As Matt Haas around the top side takes the race lead, and this time he's gotten to the inside of Laura Chung. Mashes the throttle, and he will clear, putting the 77 Laura Chung a lap down once again. Osborne now going to clear as well. You see, as soon as Laura Chung got lapped, she kind of threw up her hands and started falling back, but was not going to give up being on the lead lap without some kind of a battle. And now Osborne back to the inside of Matt Haas. Right now it's the 27, the 8, and the 88 that keep exchanging the lead back and forth. Zachary Fitzwater and Rick Johnson there say, hey, we want to play too. Got a couple of drivers that got kicked up the outside line. They faded to the back very quickly. Will Hoer in the 88, Caleb Fogler in the 28 teammates. I don't know if that was strategy or not. But they are falling back into the vicinity of their other teammate, Jose Mills. Top 5 have broken away by about 3 car lengths. And you got Ryan Butcher, Charles Sanford, Reggie Fogelman from 6th back to roughly around 13th, 14th in the second pack. And look at the run they got there, going through 3 and 4. Right back up here to the top 5 is Dunnard. Almost brushed the wall off of 4. And now Fitzwater to the inside for the race lead. Zachary Fitzwater and Joshua Osborne both picking up their first career wins this year, both at 2.5-mile racetracks. Fitzwater's was at Indianapolis and Osborne's was at Pocono. Noticing the 98 of RJ Bishop start to creep his way up here. There he is, just ahead of the Mazda of Nick Gunther. He'll take the 5th position from Rick Johnson through 1 and 2. 39 of Keith Batson is up to speed, is still with the lead pack. He has not made his way any further than 21st, but still in touch with this lead group as RJ Bishop just got the wall. Almost got spun by Rick Johnson. Fortunately, was able to get low enough not run that 98 over, but we've already seen what aero damage can kind of do to a driver. Laura Chung kind of proving that in the early going of this All-Star race. So the 98 may be in trouble there. As Gunther, this is for 3rd on Joshua Osborne, and he'll take the spot. Nick Gunther been making history this year, driving that Mazda, the project car out of Fortnite Squad Racing. Ended up getting Mazda's first laps led, got Mazda their first top 10, their first top 5, and of course their first victory at the road course of Sonoma. Now trying to get Mazda its first career All-Star race victory. So drives it down to the inside of Fitzwater there. Inside line is not necessarily preferred through 3 and 4. That middle to high line, you can carry so much more momentum, so much more speed, and case in point right there, Fitzwater able to hold off the charge. Inside is the more preferred lane through 1 and 2, middle to high through 3 and 4. So it's kind of topsy-turvy here and really helps for great side-by-side racing all the way around this track. Gonna try the inside again here though through 3 and 4 is Gunther. That time he had a big push, a lot of momentum from Rick Johnson down the back straightaway, and he will clear for the top spot. That is Gunther's first lap led here tonight, so I guess we could say more history. First lap led in an all-star race by a Mazda. As Rick Johnson now trying to see if he can get up there and take the race lead back once again. Looking for his 3rd lap led of the night. Ooh, Matt Haas just caught the tail end of that. I think he might have brushed the wall off of 4. Let's look at him coming by here through turn 1. It might have just been a brush. I don't see any visible damage, so he might be okay. Reggie Fogelman, strong run to the inside there on Zachary Fitzwater. That's for 4th place. Yeah, we ended up seeing the veterans, the 2 veterans of Northeast Motorsports, Benjamin Miles and Austin LaPlante, miss out on making the All-Star race, handing the mantle over to the rookies, Reggie Fogelman and Jack Dunnard. We're talking about drivers and the way they made the All-Star race. Didn't talk about Dunnard's victory this year at Phoenix that locked him into this All-Star race event. Joshua Osborne right now, strong race car out in front. That Castrol GTX Chevrolet Camaro out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, the only driver that made his way in via that team. Quentin Moore, James Qualls coming up just short in the open earlier on tonight. And now Fogelman, that LSU Chevrolet Camaro, the purple and gold, big run, gets down in front of Zachary Fitzwater. Utilize that bubble push, if you will. And it's going to propel him to the race lead. He'll edge ahead of Osborne off of 4. I believe that's Fogelman's first lap led of the night. Yes, it is. Less than 20 to go here at Charlotte. And again, I don't think these drivers can make it on fuel, but if they can, it is super, super close. So it could be a fuel strategy race here in the All-Star race, which is apropos because more often than not, a lot of our All-Star race, or our Coke 600s, I should say, in the past, have ended up being fuel strategy type races. Of course, next week, longest race of the year, back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway to kick off the second half of the regular season, the 120-lap marathon Coke 600. You're not going to want to miss it. It's one of those races where you think you got it figured out at the beginning of the race of who's got the strongest car, then you change your mind midway through, then you change your mind 3/4 of the way through, and then someone you didn't even expect comes from out of nowhere and picks up that checkered flag. Last year, it was the 78 car that went to victory lane here. Diego Yepes doing the driving duties. Yepes not in the field here this season, though he is in the Showcase Series, which we'll see them next time. I believe it's at Dover. That's a photo finish right there. I think Fogelman got it, though, on the top side over Fitzwater. We'll have to give up the spot, though, as the inside line advantage takes over into turn 1. Going to be 15 laps to go next time by. We went back green with 34 laps to go. Remember what I said. The projected fuel window for these drivers was between 32 to 34 laps. Ooh, man. Justin Bowl and Jose Mills had to go through the grass as they were 3 wide. Nick Gunther almost got into Will Hoer, who pounded that outside wall, and it looks like the Las Vegas winner. He's lost a ton of speed, a ton of momentum. He's got aero damage for sure. I think he's actually got damage on the right front also. That was a pretty good shot. That holds up that entire outside line. Cole Deaver and Ryan Butcher were in that high line. As Osborne under fire from Reggie Fogelman, who swings around the top, but Charles Samper actually jumped up to the outside line there down the front straightaway, trying to make something happen. Didn't pan out for him off of turn 2, though, as he's going to drop back outside of the top 5. Fogelman, look at that 24. Utilizing that outside line. He's going to get around the 27 of Joshua Osborne. And Osborne's going to fight back. I said this gives you the side-by-side racing, with the inside being preferred in 1 and 2, the outside being preferred in 3 and 4. But the more they race side-by-side, the more I gotta think they're not thinking about saving fuel. So are these drivers basically conceding that they are going to have to pit before all is said and done, and when do they want to do that? Oh, Fogelman just got the wall there. As Gunther looks to the inside. Oh, caution! We've got a yellow. And that changes it all up. If these drivers are borderline now, the question is, do they come to pit road, make absolutely certain they can make it on fuel, or do they try and save what they were lacking here under these pacing laps? What did the caution come out for is the question. It's like maybe Daniel Voiles in the 26. Or Chung's on pit road. Oh, wow. Caleb Vogler and Daniel Voiles are smoking. And with Chung on pit road, I'm almost wondering if there was some miscommunication that someone ran over somebody else when the 77 was trying to get down to the apron. I thought the way that 26 was riding that he didn't have a right front. Something's broken on that car. The front splitter is dragging down the back straightaway. And that's going to drop some pretty good fluid, I would think, on the back straightaway, too. Fogler, who got in via the fastest lap from the All-Star Open. Those two Fords are absolutely done for the night. Just about 10 laps shy of the finish. Pit road was open. Everybody was on pit lane. Gas and go. Who wins the battle off pit lane? It's close between Fitzwater and Gunther, but Fitzwater will get it. Fogelman, Osborne, and Samper are going to be the top 5. Well, let's take a look and see what exactly happened. See if my assumption was correct. And it appears that I was right. Although, not exactly sure how it culminated, though. We're going to start it on the back straightaway here, and watch on the left side of your screen. You'll see the purple 77 of Laura Chung going into turn 3. Clearly, she's got her hand out the window. Everybody's moving up to the top to avoid. Oh, it was Cole Deaver ran over the 83 of William Hoer. That sent him up into Daniel Voiles and Caleb Fogler. So Deaver did not see that the 77 was coming to pit lane. And he didn't lift. Everybody else behind did. Let's take another look at that. Watch the orange 08. Watch out, he runs right into the back of the 83, right there. And then, oh wow, big hits for Fogler and Voiles. Yeah, it was definitely a case of miscommunication, but the communication was definitely there. Now, here's the thing, though. In defense of Cole Deaver, Deaver was the 4th, 5th, 6th car behind the 77. He probably didn't see the hand out the window. Yeah, see how he's down to the inside there. He probably thought everybody up ahead was maybe getting tight moving up the track, and he saw a lane to be able to make some passes. And unfortunately, was not able to react in time. He was already in the left rear quarter panel of William Hoer, and that's 3 strong Fords right there that are more than likely out of it. Cole Deaver did spend some extra time on pit lane. I'm assuming they would be working on the nose, trying to make sure that the grill isn't pushed in. Laura Chung was able to make it onto pit road safely and come off pit road safely, but she again was trapped a lap down and will be ahead of the leaders here. Actually, no, correction. She actually lost another lap. Right now she is being scored -1, but it is less than 10 to go, so she will be ahead of the leaders still, since it would be a single file restart. 2 drivers out of the race, Daniel Voiles, Caleb Fogler. Tough break for both those guys. Voiles started this race from the pole position. Caleb Fogler made his way in via the Lightning Challenge. He also had the fastest lap of this All-Star race, so definitely had a fast car. It'll leave us with 19 drivers really to settle this thing out. Laura Chung could be the X factor in all this, as she will be on the tail end of the lead lap in 20th, but ahead of race leader Zachary Fitzwater. Nick Gunther will line up in second, Reggie Fogelman third, Joshua Osborne and Charles Sanford complete the top 5. Then it's Rick Johnson, Jose Mills, Keith Batson, RJ Bishop, and Cody Lamas the top 10. I mentioned the fact that 39, I thought they got him pretty well repaired and he'd be up to speed. Brought out the first caution of the day, and he right now is up inside of the top 10 with a chance of picking up his second checkered flag in 3 weeks. It's going to be 8 laps to go here in this All-Star race. All bets are off. Nothing on the line but a pretty sizable purse and some good momentum heading into the Coke 600 next week. So let's see what these drivers are going to do. Has the green flag going to fly? Fuel no longer a concern. And Fitzwater up through the gears. How quickly does he try to disperse the 77 of Laura Chung, who was a bit of a hindrance for the leaders on the last restart? And again, is sporting that right side damage, has not repaired it. Fitzwater looks low. Gunther was going to look low on him. But Fitzwater gets a nice push from the 55. I think they're going to make very quick work of the 77 here. Fogelman chose the top, and that was not the wise decision, because now he's going to be trapped behind the 77. As Fitzwater clears for the top spot. Gunther did not clear Laura Chung. Might be able to clear this time through 1 and 2 with the help of Joshua Osborne and Charles Sanford. There you saw that bubble push, courtesy of the 27, propelled Gunther by Laura Chung. And now Gunther sets his sights on Zachary Fitzwater. I believe if we got to the completion of lap 57 and a caution came out, race would end under yellow. We've had 2 cautions so far here tonight. Hopefully we finish this thing under green as Gunther to the bottom on Fitzwater, looking for the top spot, and he will take it easily before they get to the exit of turn 2. Now Fitzwater trying to go on the defensive, because here comes Joshua Osborne for second. Keith Batson in that 5th position. The top 5 have cleared themselves of the lap car of Laura Chung. Cody Lamas in 6th would be the next driver to try and do so, as Fitzwater got to the inside, the left rear quarter panel of Nick Gunther. He's got the advantage going into 1. He'll go back to the lead. Laura Chung appears to still be somewhat up to speed, and she is mixing it up with the lead lap cars. Just got by Rick Johnson, and that allows Cody Lamas to move up into the top 5 following in her tire tracks. Gunther was awfully high there through 4. Didn't get the wall, but was close. Saw Fitzwater stay up there to the top side through the D-shaped front straightaway. He was trying not to give the 27 any draft, and nice block right there. Almost got hooked for his troubles, but was able to block Joshua Osborne's momentum through 1 and 2. See what happens here through 3 and 4 as Batson now dives to the inside for second place, and Osborne all out of shape there. He's going to lose the second position to Batson. He'll also have Laura Chung bypass him. And Cody Lamas right now just following Laura Chung. It's allowed him to go from 5th now up to 3rd. Sanford going to move into 4th. Now it's Fitzwater versus Batson for the race lead, potentially the race win. 2-time winner Destin Bolin back there. He's underneath Charles Sanford for the 4th position. Lamas to the inside of Laura Chung. Wait a minute. Fitzwater's going to pit road. That's what I was wondering, because I noticed everybody running up way up high. Something's amiss on the 66, as we are now at 2 to go here at Charlotte. Did they not get the 66 full of fuel? Remember, he won the battle off pit road. They may not have gotten him completely full of fuel. Now Sanford with a big run. He looks to the inside for the lead on Keith Batson. 77 of Laura Chung is right now on the tail end of the lead lap. She is not a factor for the win as far as winning this race. Somebody else was slow in the middle of the pack. I think that was Nick Gunther in the 55. I think he just hit pit lane. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here at Charlotte. Charles Sanford the leader. Cody Lamas into 2nd. I noticed that Zachary Fitzwater was coming off pit road and William Howard came off pit lane with him. He couldn't make it. Charles Sanford locked himself into the All-Star race earlier on tonight, winning the first stage. Can he win the All-Star race? Cody's right there, but he had to lift. Charles Sanford, by about half a car length off turn 4, is going to win the All-Star race here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. S3 Motorsports, back-to-back years that they pick up a checkered flag here in the All-Star race, following up Cole Deaver's victory in Season 5. And Charles Sanford, who started this race from the 18th position after having to qualify his way in earlier tonight, right place, right time, and he'll pick up the victory here this evening. I feel this 0-3 is not far away from picking up a points-paying checkered flag. If you just look at his last couple of weeks, that runner-up finish, last week at Chicagoland, won the first stage earlier on tonight, wins the All-Star race. Keep an eye on this 0-3 in the Coke 600, that's all I could say. And Cody Lamas, he was there, as was Keith Batson. They just couldn't get to him through 3 and 4. Race standings should be official. A couple of drivers risked it on fuel, couldn't make it. Gunther, Bishop, Fitzwater, Hoer, Matthews, and Haas appear to be those drivers that could not make it on fuel. It was the All-Star race. You probably were going to try something risky to gain track position with knowing it was going to be less than 10 to go. It just didn't pan out for those drivers. But again, with it being a non-points event, you're more likely to try something in that type of strategy. As we look at the rest of the finisher results here, Cole Deaver, the victor last year, 4th place here this year, so good run for a couple of the S3 Motorsports cars. Jose Mills, the other former winner of this event from back in Season 2, 5th place. Destin Bolin, 2-time winner, the winner last week at Chicagoland, 6th here tonight, so good momentum for him heading into the second half of the regular season. Then it was Rick Johnson, Mitchell Collins, Ryan Butcher, and Jack Dunnard, the top 10 finishers. Looks like with the drivers that couldn't make it on fuel, it split the field up quite a bit, and only 7 drivers finished up in the same zip code as the race leader with a shot of winning this race. 2 cautions during the course of this race. It took out Daniel Voiles and Caleb Fogler, but again, no points were on the line, so nobody's going to suffer dropping and free-falling through the standings. They'll have to worry about that, though, next week when we are back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. Congratulations to Charles Sanford on the victory here tonight in the All-Star race. He is now locked into future All-Star races here. And an unbelievable weekend for that 0-3 team as well, after they had to qualify in and made the most of it with a trophy in All-Star race competition. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's All-Star race as well as the All-Star Open earlier on tonight. If you did, be sure to give a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We have shown you full official results. We'll see you guys next week as the 120-lap marathon Coca-Cola 600 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.